If the Portland Trail Blazers get in the playoffs, they will beat the Los Angeles Lakers in the first round.
Ooh. Well, that is bold.
They will beat the Los Angeles Lakers. They will beat the Los Angeles Lakers.
He was a great player, but Charles Barkley is known for his ice-cold takes. I mean, the list of outrageous things he's said is pretty much endless. But could he, for once, be right about this one? Well, the Lakers are missing their best perimeter defenders in Avery Bradley and Rajon Rondo, who once teamed up with Anthony Davis to destroy the Blazers the last time they met in the playoffs. But they still have AD, and of course they've got that guy who you might say is pretty good at basketball, LeBron James. So the biggest factor for the Portland Trail Blazers might not be Dame, CJ, or even Melo, but the big man who's known as the Bosnian Beast. Jusuf Nurkic hasn't played basketball since horrifically breaking his leg in March 2019, but after the NBA took a 4-month hiatus, he's back. Wagwan people, it's your boy Mo, and Jusuf Nurkic has been balling in the warm-up scrimmages ahead of the NBA restart. He had 14 points and 8 rebounds in just 20 minutes of action against the Indiana Pacers, and then followed it up with 17 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks against the Toronto Raptors. So hit that subscribe button because I'm about to break down what he adds to this team and what that could affect in a potential first-round matchup against the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, Portland started the season winning just 5 of their first 14 games before calling on the powers of Hoodie Melo to come and help them. The last time we saw them on an NBA court, they had a record of 27 and 39. Not quite what we'd expect for a team featuring the cover star of NBA 2K21. No team has benefited more from the NBA hiatus than the Portland Trail Blazers, because now, after healing from their injuries, they've added Jusuf Nurkic and Zach Collins back to their lineup. So they'll look like a completely different team to the one that was battling for the 9th seed and struggling to make the playoffs. He hasn't played yet this season, so let's take a look at Nurkic's play since he joined the lineup in these warm-up scrimmages. Jusuf Nurkic is a dominant force down low on the block. Of the 826 shots that he attempted the last season that he played, 646 of them were within 8 feet of the basket, and 215 of these were hook shots. And as you can see, he uses his supreme strength to dominate his defender, back them down, turn around and hit those hook shots. As you can see, once he puts his body on the defender and backs them down, the defenders are powerless to stop him even when the help comes across. He does a great job of getting into the paint, sealing the former Defensive Player of the Year, Serge Ibaka, turning around, and once again that hook shot is so reliable. The only way to stop these hook shots is to jump high enough to intercept the ball out of the air, because he keeps his body in between the defender and the basketball, and no one can really jump that high. Having such an offensive threat such as Dame Lillard on his team means that defenders are worried about Dame driving or cutting to the basket, so you can see here he gets the open mid-range opportunity. Oladipo overplays Dame, meaning the big man can't fully commit to Nurk as he has to stay in the lane. In the high pick and roll here, CJ is a killer as well, and the defense is worried about him getting it off in the mid-range, so they all focus on him as he goes to the rack and Nurk gets to put back. The defender forgets to box out Nurk, and he uses his extraordinary height to easily grab the offensive board and put it in for 2. He's called the Bosnian Beast for a reason. He brushes the backer to the floor before setting another very solid screen on Kyle Lowry, allowing his teammate to get open for the J. European big men have reputations for being great shooters, and for good reasons. Here you can see him stretch the floor, catch the pass on the perimeter and knock it down for the triple. Man are saying it's too easy. He has a very good basketball IQ, and he knows his teammates' favorite spots on the court, and you can see he gets it to Melo so he can get the easy bucket. Here he reads the offensive action and he sees CJ curling off a screen so he can get the ball to him for the easy finish. Being so tall means he can see over the defense, and that comes in useful, just like here when he throws the skip pass to the corner and CJ drains the triple. Now, he's looked very comfortable on the court. However, these were just warm-up scrimmages, 10 minutes a quarter, teams not playing their full-length minutes for their best players. So we're going to take a look at how he matches up with the defenders that the LA Lakers could put on him. Whilst he is the media favourite for the Defensive Player of the Year, Anthony Davis has nightmares when he tries to guard Jusuf Nurkic. Over the past 2 seasons before Nurkic got injured, Davis guarded him for 27 possessions, and on those possessions, Nurkic scored 29 points. Nurk did it with ease and efficiency, shooting 85% on possessions where AD was his primary defender. Add to that, the Blazers scored 45 points as a team on those possessions when AD was matched up with Nurkic. So let's take a look at why. He slips the pick and roll with Damian Lillard and immediately uses his strength and that hook shot down low in the post against Anthony Davis. he goes straight back to the post up here against Davis, and as you can see, he spins baseline for the easy lay-in. What happens here is AD has a good defensive stance, but as soon as Nurkic backs him down once using his shoulder, his stance changes, so he's now not protecting the baseline at all. Now this is probably why AD is so adamant that he wants to play the power forward spot and not be a small ball center. So we're going to have to take a look at how the big men of LA, that's right, the two centers down low in the post, can match up with the Bosnian beast. In the 3 games between the Lakers and the Blazers before Nurk broke his leg, JaVale McGee guarded Nurkic for 61 possessions. Nurk only scored 25 points on these possessions, but he did it with efficiency again, shooting 71% when JaVale was his primary defender. He wasn't attacking as much as he was when AD was guarding him, but it did open up the floor for his teammates. The Trailblazers as a team scored 84 points on those 61 possessions that Nurk was guarded by JaVale. Jusuf Nurkic is almost 300 pounds, so just like AD, JaVale kind of lacks the strength to battle with him down low on the block, and as you can see, he easily backs him down and gets the hook shot to go. The dribble handoff is something the Portland Trailblazers utilize a lot, and as you can see, Dame finds him with a beautiful pass as JaVale is overcompensating for Dame's dribble as Lonzo gets stuck behind Nurkic's huge screen. Portland love the high pick and roll with CJ McCollum and Nurkic, and once again, JaVale McGee pays too much attention to the ball handler, forgetting completely about Nurkic, who's there for the easy putback. JaVale shacked in the fall, he has no idea where Nurkic is, he's watching the ball, then he goes to help with the guy cutting through even though his teammate's there, leaving Nurkic wide open without even a hand up to contest the shot. On this out of bounds play, JaVale doesn't communicate with Ingram, who gets trapped by the screen, leading Nurkic to dive to the hoop open. He doesn't get it to go, but there's no bigs in the paint anymore because JaVale went to help on Dame, so Nurkic has the easy putback. Once again, JaVale's too worried about helping on Dame in the lane that he leaves Nurkic wide open, and he must have not read the scouting report because Nurkic with an open jumper is straight money. You can't be letting Nurkic beat you down the court in transition. Here he gets positioned under the hoop for an easy putback that JaVale should have really got. So things don't look too promising when it comes to the Lakers guarding Nurk on the inside, but never fear.
Look, up in the sky, it's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman.
The man who will shatter Charles Barkley's prediction is a player that not many thought would even still be in the league at this point. That's right, Dwight Howard has revitalized his career, and the former defensive force, you know, the guy who led the Orlando Magic to the NBA Finals, has all the tools needed to stop Jusuf Nurkic down low on the block. When he played for the Charlotte Hornets, Dwight matched up against Nurk for 60 possessions, and on those 60 possessions, he limited Nurkic to only 5 points on an abysmal 17% shooting from the floor. Dwight is one of the few defenders with the size and the strength to bang with Nurkic down low. As you can see, he can't back him down like he usually would, and instead he's forced to rush his hook shot and it misses. So the fact that Dwight is such an imposing presence causes Nurkic to rush his shot selection and settle for jump shots that aren't in the natural flow of the offense. Dwight Howard merely being present in the paint when Nurkic is trying to attack makes him second guess himself and miss shots that he would usually make very easily. Dwight's height and his wingspan means that Nurk can't see the floor as easily as he usually would, leading him to throw poor passes. These turnovers in turn frustrate Nurkic and throw him off his game. So now when he finds himself in a situation where Dwight is guarding him, in situations where he'd usually back the defender down and throw up that hook shot, he instead opts to try and throw a skip pass all the way across, which results in a turnover. So now when Nurkic is on the court at the same time as Dwight Howard, he overthinks things, he feels under pressure, he feels like he needs to rush and try and make plays that he usually wouldn't go for. So Dwight Howard will be the man the Lakers call upon to stop Jusuf Nurkic if they're matched up in the first round. As good as Nurkic is, I still don't think he gives the Trailblazers what they need to pull off the possible biggest surprise that we've seen in the NBA playoffs for a long time. Who on that roster is going to stop LeBron James? Also, he might struggle to guard Nurkic on one end, but on the other side of the floor, Anthony Davis has put up some monster offensive numbers against the Portland Trailblazers. In my opinion, it's going to be very difficult for them to even make the playoffs, let alone pull off this upset, because the Grizzlies are looking strong, you know, they're flying high in those preseason scrimmages, and the Pelicans, they've just got Zion back, and their 5-man starting unit is an absolute force when they're on the court. Unfortunately for the Trailblazers, I feel like they don't have the depth in the squad, and the way the roster is constructed isn't ideal. They need to build a better team around Dame if they want to see some sort of success in the playoffs, and of course as fans, we want to see Dame on those big stages, hitting those big shots and waving away opponents, just like he did to Paul George and the Oklahoma City Thunder last year. Thank you guys for watching, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. It would really be a big help to me. And if you're still here and you've watched the whole video, that means you like what you saw. So why not give it a thumbs up and then check out some of the other videos on the channel, because we've got tons of breakdowns, we've got some other great content, and we've got a lot more coming soon, so keep it locked. I hope all of you guys enjoy the NBA restart, and most importantly, you know the vibes, get buckets.